like strings, running fast and crushing dreams. Who's gonna let the big shiny rings behind the doors? They're getting brief. It's so clear to see. Everything might seem so bright, but you can't be under the lights without being behind the scenes. There's another game being played. It ain't always what it seems. Judges watching up from the thrones. Who's the next king who throw the stones? If you swear on the Bible, then let's settle this on the court. We'll add up the scores and see the reality they distort. Nice try, the ball don't lie. People think it's a fair game, and they actually believe this. Show us what you got. Take the ball and shoot your shot. Give it a try. It's swish or miss. The ball don't lie. When you look at the numbers, something seems off. When you learn to do imagery, you can laugh and scoff. Nice try. The ball don't lie. Heroes rise, but really they fall. Because there are big shots making the call. Trophies shine, but it's all for a die. In the game of the all-seeing eye, the ball don't lie.
Welcome back, ballers. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Are You Seeing What I'm Seeing with Rambo. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. We're on the eve of the conclave announcing or choosing the next pope. That said, Rambo, how are you? Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hopefully you can hear me as well, and I'm doing well.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
I did put a question into the chat. Okay, sound check sounds good. Hey, Coffee Girl, saw you in the chat with Cody's live stream he did today. Brilliant work. I'm going to pretty much open by sharing a couple of Cody's main observations about tomorrow. So always good to see you guys. But as always, we're going to dive right into it because once again, we want to keep this within the 1 hour time frame, and there's always a lot to talk about. So without further ado, as always, want to introduce my co-host essentially for this weekly gathering, Rambo. Many of you know him. For those of you that don't, you can find him at The Truth Codes on Instagram, as well as Patreon, spelt exactly as it sounds, all one word. And for $5 a month, you can get exclusive access to all of his contents from both written posts as well as videos that he makes as well. So, Rambo, if you wouldn't mind, just doing a quick intro.
And the
Discord.
And the Discord.
Yes.
I have a lot of brilliant contributors, and Discord allows you to see their decodes as well. In fact, the latest decode, which I have up right now, which is about the esoteric underpinnings of the 2025 Kentucky Derby. It's based on contributions from this brilliant comments from patrons. So Discord gives you an opportunity to share your decodes and to see more in-depth decodes of other patrons.
Yeah, it's a strength in numbers, right, Rambo? Pun intended. Yeah. I mean, pun intended, because there's been many times you guys where I'll reach out to Rambo and I'll just see an observation and not even necessarily know why I'm maybe seeing a theme or a pattern. And then he'll have something, he's either way ahead of me on it, or he'll just say, oh, that makes me think about this. And the next thing you know, it blossoms into just such an amazing web. Like we always talk about being, so perfectly connected, the more you know.
Yeah, so what happened, here's my latest decode. So we know that the horse Sovereignty won the Kentucky Derby. I don't know if anyone picked that. I didn't, but I did identify a theme, and I said it was all around Michael Jordan. There's been a series of Michael Jordan tributes this year as he turns 62. Big number for Jordan. 62 is Jordan in Gematria.
And Rambo, really quick. I'm sorry. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm saying let's hit the Derby after maybe these first couple of slides when it comes to just where we're at on the doorstep of the new Pope. Because I know this is what you were texting me earlier, right? About the back end connection with Jordan.
Yeah, so
it's incredible.
The only point I wanted to make was I did this decode based on the contribution of patrons. I wasn't going to actually do it now, but the point I'm going to make is what I was able to do to determine that, there was that Jordan connection to the winner was based on the contributions of a patron. There wasn't even me who
yes.
picked. That's all I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first thing you told me in your text to me. So I always admire you for that, Rambo. It's not about stealing and taking other people's work. It's about always adding on to it and giving folks, props when they have a great observation. And that's another reason why we're doing this channel as well. I have the phone line open. Typically, we'll take calls after we kind of say our piece, but without further ado, I guess I'll just dive into the couple slides I had here. This is not for me to plagiarize Cody's work. I just wanted to shout out Decoding with Cody. He had an amazing live presentation earlier today on YouTube as he's been traveling, and he explained a lot about how it's personally connected to him, all going to even his own logo on YouTube, which is that golden spiral, which I'm sure, Rambo, you can add a lot to this. So please, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see Cody's stuff today, but one thing he was talking about a lot was the two cardinals that have, I guess, the best chances or the strongest odds, if you will, of becoming or being named the next pope. And the first one was Pietro Parolin. And he points out how this actor in the movie Eurotrip was essentially mistaken as the Pope, who happens to have the same birthday as Pietro Parolin. His video is about an hour, so I'm just kind of hitting the really top of the surface stuff here. But to align how the divine proportion, which is related to the golden ratio, falls right in line with their birthdays, which are identical. And he also points out that this actor, I'm blanking on his name at the moment. I think his name is Scott, at least his first name. But if you measure from his actual birthday to today's broadcast, which is the day before the conclave is selecting the next pope, I don't know if it's like Rambo, let me ask, when it comes to this formal process, right? It's not every day that there's a change of hand with the popes. What is this process like? Is the next pope going to be named tomorrow, or is this kind of a voting thing where it'll take a few days to announce?
The process should take until the 10th.
Okay.
So the earliest that the pope could be announced is the 10th. So it's several days. So the vote takes. So not every cardinal jumps in and votes. It's over 3 days, and then on the 10th is when there could be, it's not a guaranteed, a decision. Now, in some cases, a decision is not made. Who knows? Maybe there's a tie, or it can't. So the earliest it could be announced is the 10th, and there could be, for whatever reason, a reason to revote, and then it could be after that. But the earliest it would happen would be the 10th.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the earliest. It could be later. It might not even come down to a decision, essentially. Like, you never know, but the earliest will be the 10th.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting just for the sole reason that Cody was talking about this being phi, right? 1.6180 is the first digits of phi, kind of like Philadelphia, who just won the 105th NFL season, right? So if it did go down on May 10th, 10/5, I think safe to say that would sync up very nicely with the Super Bowl in different ways. But to the point of this slide, once again, if you measure from this actor's birthday, who once again portrayed the Pope in Eurotrip, his birthday to today is exactly the first 5 digits of phi. So, and he's holding the exact same kind of staff, if you will, that a lot of these cardinals hold, and or the Pope, I'm guessing. But talked about the birthdays. Oh, I'm going backwards now. Sorry. Really, the last piece here, he just mentions that their birthdays from Pietro Parolin's birthday to this actor's birthday. Once again, I forget his name, but exactly 312 months, just like Pope Francis's full name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, and a lot of other 312s, but keeping it high level. The one addition I wanted to add, Rambo, this goes back to what we were talking about, I'm pretty sure last week. I mean, talk about 217, Michael Jordan's birthday, right? February 17th. When you look at Pietro Parolin's birthday and you just measure it back to Pope Francis, who both have 17 birthdays, right? The 17 in it. It's exactly 217 months on the nose. And when you add the end date, it's also a span of 6,606 days. And then I had to add one more. We were talking about Canis Major, right? And why Joe Biden's dog's name is Major. And then we quickly did a quick search, and we saw that he was also born on that 17th birthday. But I remembered we talked about January 17th, and sure enough, same birthday as Pietro Parolin.
So he has two dogs. He had a dog named Major and a dog named Commander.
Right.
So so Major is named after Canis Major, the big dog Sirius. It's Commander who has the January 17th birthday.
Commander has the January 17th?
Yeah.
I thought it was September 1st, 9/1. I could be I could be.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, September 1st. You're right. Yeah, the Sirius number. Yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah.
So that's okay. This is the last slide I had, just talking about the 666 connection, 217 related to Jordan, and then just looking at their birthdays and how perfectly they're lining up, alongside everything else that Cody added.
I just want to say something on my end. I don't see any slides, so I don't know if the screen share is working or not.
Oh my God! You should have told me earlier. My apologies. I thought. Oh my God! I feel so bad. That's embarrassing, you guys. I apologize. Because I do this full screen and I'm not even looking at the comments. I'm not sure if someone. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize. You guys can see it now. I know that.
Yeah, it's all pretty clear. Like you explained it pretty well. It's pretty. A slide makes it better, but I thought you were explaining it, I think, well enough that we understood. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Can you see it now, Rambo? Because I'm on full screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick recap. It was just showing that these guys have the same birthdays. The actor who played the Pope and Pietro Parolin. We were now here, just talking about Pietro Parolin, who has the highest odds of potentially becoming the next Pope, and how it's connected to 217, MJ's birthday, and Canis Major. But lastly, I just wanted to point out, as we kind of transition to the Kentucky Derby, what I also thought is interesting is that there are only 2 non-member observer states, meaning not part of like the UN, that are considered sovereign states, and that is the Holy See, which is, from my understanding, Rambo, keep me honest here, it's a territory, or it's a city within Vatican City. It's not technically the same, but Holy See is located in Vatican City. And the reason that being is that, the Vatican or Holy See is considered a sovereign state. Now you have sovereignty winning right after the death of Pope Francis. And just tying back to that 666 connection, 666 is the 36th triangular, while 151, and we just had the 151st Kentucky Derby, it is the 36th prime, and Pope Francis, of course, was born in the year 36. So that was essentially all I wanted to share there. Anything else you want to add, at least, I guess, to those talking points?
Well, I'll add to what one of my patrons, Tranquility. So she's done a decode where you could have the first non-cardinal appointed pope in 600 years. So so it's a lot of people assume that you have to be a cardinal. It's a prerequisite to become a pope, and that is not the fact. Literally, any baptized Catholic male can be appointed pope. It just happens that they only appoint cardinals. They have done so for 600 years. And I see you've done some good decoding, and it remains to be seen what's happening. But the Archbishop of Kiev in Ukraine looks like, I mean, if there is a non-cardinal to be appointed, it seems like he would be it. You know, if there ever is a non-cardinal ever to be, and this would really be that would be a unique, that's an understatement, event, watershed for a non-cardinal. And what she points out is he was actually in Toronto on Michael Jordan's birthday, the day that plane flipped upside down. Upside down is a very important symbol because St. Peter was crucified upside down. So upside down symbolism can be an indication of St. Peter. So the hangman of the tarot, or St. Peter's the hangman. He was crucified upside down. The upside down cross is the Petrine cross, St. Peter's cross. That's why upside down symbolism can indicate on an occulted level the Catholic Church and St. Peter. And of course, I pointed out how the gematria of upside down, 130, that's in the simple cipher, manifests in so many Pope-related or hanged man or choking-related events. The number 130 manifests. And as Tranquility pointed out, 130 cardinals will be voting. So you have to be a cardinal to vote, but you don't have to be a cardinal to become Pope. 130 of them, that's not a random number. That's the gematria of one of upside down. Upside down is a reference to St. Peter's cross. And they've held to it. I mean, so Donald Trump is really, he's adhered, not that it's his choice, pretty strictly to that 130 upside down code, because he does a lot of hangman. I'm Batman. The bat is upside down. Christian Bale played Batman, for example. He played the Dark Knight, the whole Dark Knight series. Christian Bale. What is Christian Bale's birthday? It was January 30th. 130. That's because of the. As an example, there's so many. Donald Trump. There's a story that he owes a bodyguard from Scotland $130. His hush money scandal with Stormy Daniels, $130,000. That's upside down 130. Donald Trump is so quoted with, or something like, he's always making references to choking. You know, whenever he's asked during elections, during primary elections, to give his comments on the Democrat primary, he'll always say, he does every time, that the Democrat candidate choked. Amy Klobuchar choked. Michael Bloomberg choked. And he'll get on stage and stick his tongue out and grab his neck. Then in the most recent election, his comment on the first Democrat primary was that Joe Biden choked. He said he choked like a dog. He's told to do it. That's the hanged man. And 130 is all over Trump. So all this just to say that, to indicate how strictly they adhere to these codes. 130 is St. Peter. It is upside down. The upside down cross, 130 cardinals vote.
That's brilliant. Well, and sticking to that upside down theme, right? A lot of what I would say that for you so far this year, the theme of the year has been that upside down plane crash on Michael Jordan's birthday. It's just incredible how it's extended into every form of news and sports that we're looking at.
So Tranquility said that, I haven't verified. I mean, I trust her. The Ukrainian Archbishop was in Toronto on that day.
Was in Toronto on the day of the upside down plane crash?
Yeah, on Michael Jordan's birthday. Yeah.
Which happened in Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's Zviatlov, is it?
So it's this guy right here.
Zviatlov, I think is the name. Yeah, Sviatoslav Shevchuk. Yeah, that's him. Sviatoslav Shevchuk.
Okay. So they mentioned that in mainstream news, or did you have to kind of dig to see where he was at?
No, I got it from right. So I got it from her comment, but I haven't.
That's right, yeah.
I haven't verified it yet.
Okay. Well, that is very interesting. I mean,
yeah, but on so many levels. If I would say, if ever there was, okay, granted he is an underdog. If you're not a cardinal, you're an underdog. Believe me, 600 years. But if you're not, no, I think it's 600 popes. I think not 600 years. 600, the last 600 popes. If you're not a Cardinal, yeah, you're an underdog. But I think if ever there would be a time for a non-Cardinal, a lot lines up with him, like as far as the symbolism goes.
Right. But you were also telling me a little bit, was this Patreon follower of yours also the one speaking to the Jordan connection with Sovereignty winning the Kentucky Derby?
Actually, no. There are so many brilliant contributors. Yeah. I know it's not the, and they all. It's actually it was BPM who noticed the Sovereignty connection to Michael Jordan. That was BPM.
Would you mind elaborating a little bit more about that connection? Because I'd like to share it with the viewers.
Yeah, I actually just uploaded a video. It's a short video. It's
perfect.
Yeah, it's 9 minutes.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, it's titled Royal Jordanian.
Do you mind if we play it for the viewers so people can get a taste of?
You can play. Yeah, and plus I give a little context for people maybe are not all familiar with the Michael Jordan connection. So those who follow the work will have heard this a million times, but I still like to establish the context before. What does Michael Jordan have to do with the Kentucky Derby? On the surface, they're not connected, but I'll give that context to start. Yeah.
And I guess one last thing I'll add is that we did speak last week about how Jordan, he has the Jordan brand, right, is the only brand that has now found itself. It was something about it finding itself in the world of soccer, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot more about that. Make sure to go back and watch last week's episode and know what we're talking about. But yeah, I got the video teed up here. So let me just make sure that the screen is being shared. And I get a thumbs up from you, Rambo. Can you see my screen that shows your video?
No, I see you and me in a split screen. Yeah.
I always forget because I select the screen. I always forget to go back and add it to stage. I'm still learning, you guys. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, that's the video, Royal Jordanian.
Okay, perfect. Here it is. So without further ado, Rambo, you posted this earlier today, right?
Yeah, just like half hour before the show.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's get started. Sorry, folks, because when I selected the video, it opened up a new screen, so I got to switch to that one. Here we go. So this is fed directly from Rambo's page. Here we go.
I'd identified a big Michael Jordan theme this year, the year he turned 62 years old, and even before this.
I am so sorry, folks. I'm off my game right now. Rambo, can you hear me?
No, it's playing. It's playing. There's no problem.
It was the sound was working.
Yeah. I just got quiet because I didn't put music to it. So.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Sometimes I just assume.
Yeah. Maybe I should have put music.
Yeah. No worries. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
I'm just trying to show how
his significance is based on his astrological link to the star Sirius, the sacred star Sirius, venerated by every ancient civilization, especially that of ancient Egypt. There have already been Michael Jordan tributes at this year's 2025 Super Bowl, and a most spectacular one on his birthday on runway 23 at Toronto's Pearson International Airport. I connected him to the Kentucky Derby because his son Marcus did a Back to the Future 3 ritual while wearing original Air Jordans. Air Jordan is celebrating its 40th anniversary as it was at the Super Bowl, and Air Jordan has been producing models specifically designed for the Kentucky Derby, with Marcus Jordan's car on train tracks 88 days before the Kentucky Derby, and Marcus Jordan's birthday is an 131-day span to the Kentucky Derby. 131 is the number of the locomotive in Back to the Future 3 that pushes the car on the train tracks to its time travel speed of 88 miles an hour. I've made the connection with Air Jordan, which sounds like an airline, and Royal Jordanian Airline, a 23-day span from the first release of Air Jordans to the founding anniversary of Royal Jordanian Airlines. Flight 4819 flipped upside down on Michael Jordan's birthday on runway 23. 4819 days before that event was the 2011 anniversary of the founding of Royal Jordanian Airlines. Major, huge shout out to BPM, Codebreaker patron, who revealed that the Michael Jordan connection was indeed an occulted factor in determining the winner of the 2025 Kentucky Derby. Princess of Jordan, Princess Haya, who participates in a horse-related sport, equestrian, which she did in the 2000 Olympics for Jordan, was born on May 3rd. So the 2025 Kentucky Derby was on her birthday. She was married, now separated, to the owner of the winning horse, Sovereignty, Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who owns Godolphin Stables, the winning horse of the 151st Kentucky Derby. She competed in the horse event at the Sydney Olympics. Specifically, Sydney, Australia is on the 151st meridian. That was my personal addition to BPM's incredible discovery. May 3rd, 2025, the date of the 151st Kentucky Derby, was Princess Haya's 51st birthday. 51, like the date May 1st, when Jordan Neely was strangled to death on a New York City subway in 2023. That is the Jordan association with the train. It wasn't a subway train car. Some protests of the Jordan Neely killing took place on the train tracks, on subway train tracks. Think of Marcus Jordan and his train track ritual 88 days before the Kentucky Derby. His birthday in the Kentucky Derby, May 3rd, the 51st birthday of Princess Haya. A 131 days span. The funeral of Jordan Neely took place in Mount Nebo Baptist Church in Harlem, in New York City. Mount Nebo is in Jordan. 131 was the number I identified, the number of the locomotive that pushed the time travel DeLorean, which was part of Marcus Jordan's ritual while he wore Air Jordans. 131 days between Marcus Jordan's birthday and the May 3rd Kentucky Derby and Princess Haya's birthday in the Elizabethan/Francis Bacon cipher, which uses the Elizabethan alphabet, but as you'll see here, is still relevant today. Princess Haya has a value of 131. This is why I thought Citizen Bull was such a strong candidate. The Bull reference at Michael Jordan. Citizen Bull earned 1,301,000, 1301000, which is the same as 131 in numerology. But a huge thanks to BPM for showing us that at least we were correct in identifying synchronicity with Michael Jordan and his connection to Royal Jordanian. Also, Philadelphia won the Super Bowl while its quarterback debuted Air Jordans in Chicago Bulls colors, the original city of Philadelphia, after which the United States city is named. The one famously mentioned in the Book of Revelations is today the capital of Jordan, Amman. Another great shout out to another great contributor from Codebreaker, Charlie. I'd suggested that the big headline event of NFL Hall.
Sorry about that, Rambo. You were saying this is a different video.
Yeah, so this is not on the Royal Jordanian theme. It's a couple minutes, you can watch it, but it's like a part 2. It's like the last couple minutes.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
if you don't mind, I would love to see further
yeah.
your take on this story, because this is very fresh news. I understand the accident happened, I think, 2 Saturdays ago, but the news broke about the death on Wednesday last week. So
Yeah.
still very fresh. But yeah, thank you so much for allowing us to watch this and share it with who's watching.
Hall of Fame quarterback for the Denver Broncos, John Elway, driving a golf cart. The archetype of the chariot of the tarot was in effect. The chariot card ruled by the zodiac sign of Cancer. John Elway is a Cancer, born June 28th. When his colleague Jeff Spurbeck reportedly fell off the back of the cart and died. He fell off 7 days before the Kentucky Derby, which is John Elway's number and the number of the business they partnered in, the winery called Seven Cellars. So much ties into Michael Jordan esoterically. Jordan turned 62 this year. Spurbeck died at the age of 62. John Elway's first wife's maiden name is Jordan. He named one of his children Jordan. The day after the Kentucky Derby, Sunday, May 4th, 2025, the Denver Major League Baseball team, the Colorado Rockies, lost to the San Francisco Giants. The batter who made the final out of the game was Jordan Beck of the Rockies. Beck, we just had the death of Spurbeck. Jordan Beck is listed at 6'2" in height. The winning pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, Logan Webb, wears jersey number 62. The losing pitcher for the Rockies, German Marquez, suffered his 62nd career loss.
Oh, man.
The loss puts the Denver-based Colorado Rockies at a record of 6-28. 6-28 as of the day after the Kentucky Derby, Sunday, May 4th, 2025. 6-28, 6-28, June 28th, the birthday of John Elway, who starred for the Denver NFL team. This is all Charlie's decode. The loss by the Colorado Rockies to the San Francisco Giants, they lost on the road. Their road record for the season is 2-17 after this loss. 2-17, 2-17, like February 17th, the birthday of Michael Jordan.
Rambo, you never cease to amaze me. You guys, you have no idea how much time and research and work goes into that information-packed type of content, and the way that you do it, Rambo, is just continues to blow my mind. Seriously.
Yeah, okay. But I like to say that was Charlie and BPM. So the video.
Their observations that helped,
but
I'm saying, as far as even compiling the information, putting the the audio behind it, editing it, I understand how much time that takes for you to be able to gift us with that type of content. So I just want to thank you guys. Make sure right now, I'm just going to say, make sure to like and subscribe to not only this video, but as well as my YouTube page. All of our contact information is also in the ticker of this video, as well as in the description of the video as well. So we always appreciate the support. We have 33 people in here right now watching, so really appreciate everybody being here. And yeah, Rambo, the only thing I just wanted to add was towards the end, it's already escaping me, was just your connections, once again, back to Jordan, right? And I talked about how this Pietro character, who could potentially be the next pope, is exactly 217 months on the nose. Their birthdays are the date durations between that is exactly 217 months. So just another example with that plane crash happening on 217, the same year that the Pope dies, etc. But yeah, just amazing work, you guys. Please make sure, if you guys have questions for us, to either dump them in the chat or give us a call. As long as you're okay with it, Rambo, opening up the phone line if anybody does want to call in and add any observations or ask any questions. That's unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about.
So one thing about the 217, I would say that 217 was already a significant number esoterically to them. And then the fact that this child is born on that date with all the other alignments, so I think it was already a sacred number or significant number in whatever you want to call it, a code to the matrix or magic. Numbers are just, numbers in math can't be created. They just exist. The only thing you can create is symbols for the numbers. But math itself is not something that can be created. As long as one consciousness exists, well, the number one exists. So that's just the power of numbers. And what I suspect is 217 has always been like a special number. There are many special numbers in their way. It has some unique power to it. And then this child being born on that date, in addition to Sirius being on the eastern horizon as he was born, is what made them choose him and say, okay, we'll make him special in their definition of special, because we know these elite athletes, they don't have autonomy. So it's not like, in a lot of ways, no, it's not an enviable life to have. He is very controlled. He can't just say whatever he wants. They can take this away from him in art. They're controlled. They're in a box, but in their way, he's special. He's special in just the status he has in 3D material terms.
If I can add just another example, another story that I've touched on a little bit, but most people maybe aren't aware of, is on March 8th of this year was when in Michael Jordan's United Center, right, during that heavy metal concert, the band Disturbed was playing, and when the fire on the stage was going up, it actually burned the banners back on March 8th. So to add further to kind of that Colorado connection with John Elway as well, I even think Elway sounds a lot like Jetway, right? In a way, call that a reach, but makes me, I don't know, the play on words. But think about that. The flag's burning on March 8th, 3-8, and Colorado equals 38, reminding of the Denver Broncos, right? So I'd be curious. I didn't do enough research on that particular story, but I'm sure, using that date duration alone, let alone how you write it, kind of ties back into John Elway this year.
Yeah, but I actually do have more. I've written them down, to make a video, it'll probably take a week. And by that time, the Pope will dominate the headlines. Who knows what else will happen?
Sure.
I don't know if I'll even have time, like in a week, by the time I'm done, people want to hear about something else. But nonetheless, I have looked into more of the esoteric symbolism behind that John Elway cart accident. And so he fell off the back of the cart. So the story is that John Elway was at the steering wheel. His wife, this is his second wife, not the one whose maiden name is Jordan, but his second wife, her name is Paige Green, which is a tarot card reference. That's a reference to one of the tarot card suits is the Page of Pentacles. So
is it spelled page like page in a book, or like page like the name Page?
Yeah, the name No, her name is Paige, but in tarot, a page is Page, the Page of Pentacles, which I think that actually is what they're referring to, because her name is Paige Green, and just think of green. That's golf. You're on the green,
right?
And so in tarot, which is aligns in with the 52 playing card decks, you have the four elements which are represented, and Pentacles is Earth. So you'll see the Page of Pentacles is very green. If you see the whole card, he's dressed in green. He's on a green, like a golf course. He's in a green environment, like countryside. And her name, Paige Green, I think does refer to the Page of Pentacles because of how green it is. And the zodiac sign that the Page of Pentacles is ruled by is actually Capricorn. And Paige Green happens to be a Capricorn. Well, anyway, so they're on the golf cart. John Elway is driving. Paige Green, his second wife, is in the driver's seat. And then there are two people riding on the back, standing up, holding the back of the cart.
Is
One
that could I search that really quick? You said that's in the article. I didn't see that.
What are you searching? Like the details of it?
Well, I guess what you were describing. Is there a photo of that?
No, they don't want photos. They want witnesses to this. The whole thing, it's a ritual. They do not want witnesses. In fact,
I just want to make sure I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're not going to have photographs of something like this. It's a ritual, and so yeah, I've looked into it. I haven't done it, but I might as well talk about it now. And if no one's calling in, because who knows if I'll even have time to make a video on it.
Sure.
But yeah, these are the details you'll see. So yeah, there are no photos. In fact, the police didn't even show up. It was on a Saturday. The police did not find out until Monday. How much sense does that make? You call 911 on Saturday, only the ambulance shows up, and then the police find out about it on Monday.
Right.
How do the police not know about a 911 call until 2? That is the story. That's what I'm saying. If they don't even want the police there, they definitely don't want any photograph evidence either. So that's the story. It's Elway at the steering wheel. His wife in the passenger seat, Page Green. That's the Page of Pentacles. And then two people on the back. One is Jeff Spurbeck, holding onto the back. And the other is a reality TV star. He's been a reality TV star for like a couple of decades now. His name is Johnny Bananas. Johnny Bananas. He's been on he's had an MTV Real World Road Rules, and he's been on just a whole ton of. He's just a career reality TV. I mean, he's only second to Donald Trump as far as The Apprentice. He's like most reality TV stars. They're there for a few seasons, but he's especially on MTV. So Johnny Bananas was on the back of the cart. Johnny Bananas is good friends with John Elway's son Jack, who's named after his father Jack. All these names end with a J. I'll show you. John Elway's whole family, their first names start with the letter J. Is it a coincidence that Jeff Spurbeck, his close friend, his name also starts with a J? Is it a coincidence that Johnny Bananas is another John? It's a thing there.
Well, Rambo, if I can add one thing, because you were talking about Michael Jordan's son earlier, right?
Yeah.
In this latest video. So for those of you guys that don't know, my wife has gotten me to be watching more reality TV shows, and it is entertaining. I encourage people to, find your guilty pleasure, if you will, and you'll just be amazed what you'll find just seeing what they're showing to you, even in a show like reality TV. But the reason I say that is because Michael Jordan's son, this was back when he was still apparently with Pippen's ex-wife. They were both on a show called The Traitors. And I think, I don't know if you remember, I was telling you about this a little bit, but long story short, Michael Jordan's son and his girlfriend, the wife of Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, he was on the show called The Traitors. Guess who else was on that show? I believe it was the same season, Johnny Bananas. In that same season, which I believe is the latest season of The Traitors.
Also, to be clear, also, if people aren't familiar with it, but I wasn't. Like, if I heard you now, I'd think the show was called Traders. It's Traitors, just to make
Traitors.
sure.
Yes.
The
traitors, as if I betrayed you.
Yeah.
It's just
I didn't know about Johnny Bananas. That's a big connection.
Yeah, I would say so too, for sure. Especially since that is the latest season. Bananas was the very first contestant to be eliminated from the show.
Yeah, so he's on everything. Yeah.
So he wasn't on it for long, but he was there for the first episode or two, and then he was off. Yeah.
So he's I'd never heard of. I mean, back in those days, I did watch MTV. This is going back to like 2005. So I have seen him. I just don't remember having seen him because I did watch that. And of course, he's a Cancer. June 22nd. That's the last day of Cancer. Cancer is the Chariot. That's what this is, the Chariot. And he's a Cancer. John Elway's a Cancer. This is about the Chariot. They used the images of the tarot, which originated in ancient Egypt. These are codes to the Matrix. He's a Cancer. It's the Chariot. So there's another. So what I have determined, I believe they're doing a fallen angel's ritual when he fell, and it has to do with the falling of the sun. When the sun falls twice at the autumnal equinox. You could say the sun falls off the wall. That's what Humpty Dumpty is. Humpty Dumpty is the sun, the yellow yolk, and it falls at the end of each day at dawn. So it's a sun cycle symbol. That's what it is. That's why it's the chariot. The chariot is about cycles, wheels, and going around in circles. So before the death of Jeff Spurbeck, where were Jeff Spurbeck and is Jeff Spurbeck's wife, John Elway's wife, where were they? They were at a music festival called the Stagecoach Music Festival. A stagecoach is a chariot. So this is just not me making clever. No, this really is an image and an archetypes with which they, I guess, they're trying to manipulate human consciousness with these archetypes. They were at the Stagecoach, and if you actually go to the Stagecoach, see pictures of the Stagecoach Music Festival, they will have an actual stagecoach driven by horses. But what you'll also have at the Stagecoach Musical Festival is a Ferris wheel, because the wheel is the symbol. That's what the chariot is about. Wheels turning. It's about cycles, and the cycle they're referring to here with John Elway is the sun. I did in one of my written decodes, I showed a base cipher gematria grand slam and the 4 base ciphers between John Elway and the sun god. A grand slam match. This is us, and Cancer that's a zodiac sign that occurs when the sun is at its highest point. So this is really about the sun and the cycle. That's why they're at the Stagecoach. It's a reference to the chariot of the tarot, which is a literal. You put the Stagecoach Musical Festival.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, they have a Ferris wheel there. And if you look at like the Aleister Crowley, especially if you look at the Aleister Crowley Thoth tarot deck, that's when you really see the cycle wheel symbol on the chariot. So he has a chariot and a knight operating the chariot, but the knight, this is on the Crowley deck, the knight is holding a wheel in his hand. It looks like some kind of hypnotic wheel that he's holding, but it's all about the wheel. And the wheel is all about the cycle. And this is about the cycle of the sun. That's why they're using Cancer, because Cancer is the sun at its apex. In Freemasonry, that's the keystone. It's the apex of the royal arch. And when you see all the cycle symbolism, ultimately, it really is not really about the sun. Ultimately, what is all this cycle symbolism about? The reincarnation cycle. All this cycle symbolism ultimately is about that, the reincarnation.
Yeah, and I feel it ties back into what I opened with about decoding with Cody's video today, and hence how he's always had the golden ratio, a spiral essentially as his logo on his YouTube page. Trump talking about we're entering now a golden era, right? We're now going through another reincarnation, essentially the end of a cycle with Pope Francis. Right? There's always these resurrection kind of themes that have been going on.
Yeah, that's what the return symbolism. What is the return? Yes, we talk about the Pluto return, the return of the sun at spring. This is a spring. These are spring rituals because the sun has returned.
Mm-hmm. Just like how Donald Trump returned, Cooper Flag returns. Was he going to return back to school? No, right? All these themes.
Michael Jordan is a return symbol. He returned.
Right.
What is ultimately, what is this all about really at the core? I'll tell you, at the core, I have no doubt this is what it's about at the core. The return is your reincarnation return, a return to, this is a euphemism we use, the matrix. That is the ultimate cycle and the ultimate return. This is all about reincarnation.
The death and the rebirth.
That is the ultimate return. That is what this is about, ultimately. And so that's what the symbolism is. So what I can't say is what the purpose of these rituals are. Okay, so granted, it's about reincarnation. So what's the purpose of doing these rituals? Yes, are they trying to imprint something on the human unconscious? Yes. Okay, but to what end? What are they trying to achieve? I can't answer. But this is what it's ultimately about. And So yeah, there's also a fallen angels theme. So Jeff Spurbeck died on. So he fell off the cart. They're saying on April 26th, but he died on April 30th. On April 30th, in Major League Baseball, in Pittsburgh, a fan fell out of the bleachers, fell 20 feet out of the bleachers, which is a big story. Yeah, so yeah, falls. So falls. I told you it's the sun falling. The sun falls. That's Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. At the autumnal equinox and at dawn. This is all about the sun, but it's also could be about fallen angels as well. Lucifer, the light bearer, falling. The sun is
April 30th was also the Church of Satan's birthday. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay, I didn't. I forgot about that one. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, once again, the Baphomet, right? The high and the low, as above, so below. You know, this the yin and the yang, right? Male and female, all that, all those connections.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you can kind of branch off. Baphomet has been co-opted by the Church of Satan. They did not invent the Baphomet symbol. Mm-hmm. The Baphomet symbol was invented by an occultist named Eliphas Levi. I don't think he would agree with the Church of Satan. They co-opted, and it looks like a scary symbol. A goat. It looks scary. Mm-hmm. It's a yin yang symbol, like you said. It's not. The Church of Satan co-opted it, so now you can't touch it. It's like the swastika. The swastika it's actually a positive symbol. It's about luck. It's actually represents the planet Jupiter. It's been used in Asian culture since ancient times, thousands of years ago. And then Nazis take the swastika, and now, you know, so these entities will take these symbols and forget it. I mean, you're done. You can't explain to any of it. It's like St. Peter's cross too. You know, it's a zodiacal a symbol more than anything.
Right.
But so you had the fall in Pittsburgh. The fan fell out of the stands. Again, this is BPM again. What he said in the pictures, they show where the fan fell onto the field and he was motionless. The game had to stop. He had to be carted off on a chariot, a John Deere tractor. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was Johnny Bananas on the back, John Elway, who played for the Broncos, the Denver Broncos. In the background, you can say "Take Me Home, Country Roads." That's in Pittsburgh, where the fan fell. But who wrote the song "Take Me Home, Country Roads"?
I don't recall.
John Denver.
Oh my goodness!
You can thank BPM for that one. I did not notice.
Wow!
I actually saw the "Take Me Home, Country Roads." I did not make the connection to John Denver.
John Elway playing in Denver.
Yeah, you could call him John Denver. He's from Denver. He's always going to be a Denver legend for life, like immortal. He is a Denver icon for life. He literally is John Denver.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you can find a picture of that, it says "Take Me Home, Country Roads," which I did see. I did not make the.
What game was it again? So a fan falls from
a fan fall. Yeah,
from stands. Yeah, Pirates. Let's see. Let me get my screen back up here. So anytime I click on one of these, it'll. Here we go.
There you go. Take Me Home.
Yeah, so it's a little blurry. If I click on it, it's then going to freeze.
Yeah.
It's just going to open up a different window, but
you can see the "Take Me Home," right?
Yeah, it's blurred. It's blurred out right here. It's a little blurry, but yep, it says "Take Me Home."
Yeah, that is a reference.
Country Roads, Take Me Home. Yep.
Country Roads, Take Me Home. That is a song, very famous. In fact, that's his most famous song of John Denver. So you think it's not
here we go, right here.
Oh, that's much clearer. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, look, it was right in front of that. Yeah. What are the odds of that, you guys? In light with this John Denver or John Elway, aka John Denver story with the golf cart and his the death of his. It was his agent, right?
Yeah, agent, but also a close friend. I mean, usually athletes aren't close friends with their agents, but they were more than a business partner. They were actually friends.
Right, and then who wrote "Take Me Home"? There we go, by John Denver. That's amazing.
Yeah. Again, so I recommend that when you look at my website, I do this in general anyway. is you read the comments, because there are brilliant comments. Like for every decode I do, I could do 2 or 3 videos based off of the comments, sometimes even more. I can't even keep up with the comments. So I gave huge shout outs to Charlie and BPM, but that's only a fraction of what they contribute.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I'm doing on the sports betting side. For anybody interested, that's where you would find me on the Patreon or Winnable links in the description. But yeah, it's all about building a community, right? It's all about leaning on each other and adding and addressing or perhaps even correcting folks on certain observations. I'll admit there's been plenty of times where I'll share something and they go, "Are you sure?" Because I'm seeing this, just to try to keep the information as airtight, pun intended, as possible, because it's important, right? That we want to make sure that we're connecting the dots as clean as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it is remarkable how seemingly unconnected events. Okay, you had a fall at the same. You had a fall. He dies on the same day as yeah, he dies on April 30th of Fan Falls. He died after he fell off. Come on, John Elway is John Denver. Who's a bigger Denver icon than John Elway? He's John Denver, and then you have "Take Me Home, Country Roads," and he falls right on the day that Jess Burbick dies.
You know, I just thought of something else too, and this goes back to something I remember you pointed out on your Patreon. This is back in 2023, I want to say. When you think about how it happened at a Pirates game,
yeah,
right. The pirate has very strong symbolism to the skull and the crossbones.
Yeah,
right. One of the Pittsburgh Pirates logos is the pirate with the cross bats, right? And I'm tying this back to Denver. Just because of what you pointed out, this story with John Elway, Mr. John Denver. Okay, you pointed out how in the city of Denver, off of the the 202 freeway has an exit called Yale University, which is home of Skull and Bones, which is also known as the Brotherhood of Death.
Well, I didn't point that out. Someone else must have.
Okay,
because I didn't know that, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yale and the 202 in Denver.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was just another tie back to why was it a Pirates game? I mean, I don't know. It could be that Skull and Bones connection, which ties right back into Denver as well, because they have those. They have that intersection essentially.
Yeah, and also if you look at the reports of the fan, so I guess they've identified. I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Kavan. Kavan. I forgot his last name. You look at pictures of him. He played football in college.
This is the fan who fell.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh. He played football in a couple of colleges, but one of them, their logo actually is the cross. Has that cross symbol. I think it's a cross sword symbol. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, that's another symbol that's almost ubiquitous.
Yeah, Kavan Markwood.
Yeah, so he played football, and one of the logos of the team he played for in college is the crossed swords. So that's not a coincidence.
I guess in closing, I just want to see. Did you look at the gematria of his name? I haven't looked at it yet.
I have. I don't know.
Huh. Well, I was just talking about that 202, right? Skull and Bones. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So this guy's name has double overlap in the base ciphers. Here, let me just share my screen on this. I'll show you. Where are we? Yeah, so you see how in ordinal, front and back, you got Skull and Bones, and then this guy who fell. Right, so at least double overlap in the base ciphers. So there we go.
I didn't even know about that Route 202 and Yale in Denver. I didn't even know that. And then, of course, Denver is John Denver, who wrote Country Roads Take Me Home, and he falls in front of a sign that says Country Roads Take Me Home.
That's wild. Look, yeah. So I mean, if you just type in Yale and 202 Denver right here, see, exit 202 and Yale Avenue.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yep. So I mean, I guess we can close it there. We didn't get any calls this week, which is totally fine. But I just want to close by saying thank you as always, Rambo. It's always a real blessing catching up with you. Very blessed to be able to do this with you once a week. And great observations as always. I'm very interested to see what's coming next with what the conclave will decide as far as who will be the next pope. But just shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the contributions. Please, once again, make sure to hit the like and subscribe and share where you see fit. But yeah, Rambo, I'll let you close us out.
No, thanks for having me again. Thanks for hosting me.
Yeah. And once again, make sure to follow Rambo on the Truth Code. It's $5 a month, you guys. I mean, it's what, $60 a year? I mean, we're talking pennies on the dollar every day, practically. Rambo's going to be giving you some good stuff. It takes a lot of time for his work that he does. And shout out to you always, Rambo. I'm looking forward to your next post.
Yeah, thanks again. And thanks to all the comments from everybody who comments on my posts. I deeply appreciate their input.
And we always appreciate your time, Rambo. You're one of the best. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And until next time, you guys, we really appreciate it once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. As always, much love.
All right, take care.